All right, let's get to it. Start at the top with the team that, again, if this has changed anywhere in any betting sites, I haven't seen it, which is interesting to me. The team with the most over/under wins in the NBA this season is the Boston Celtics with 53.5.
So
again,
we do have a change.
Okay, send me whatever you're looking at because I'm looking at the most recent thing I could find.
Okay, I have one that says 54.5.
Oh, so it
went up. I have no idea how, but it went up.
Then I'm sticking with the one I have because
that's fine.
Yeah,
that's totally fine.
Whatever. 53.5, 54.5 for. I would go so far as to say, and shout out friend of the pod, Zach Lowe, just did his most confusing teams episode
halfway through it.
Yes, with it's quite good. With also a friend of the pod, Howard Beck.
What up, Beck?
What up, Beck? The Celtics were not on their list because they're not really a confusing team. But I think, to me at least, when you consider the over/under and how it was this, several months ago, and how it is now, it hasn't really changed. That is confusing to me because, or even just forget about that, just the over/under in particular in and of itself, because you can't really take last season on its face, because what face are you taking it on? Because there was the whole season, and then there was the season after the RJ shot, at which from that point forward, if you're looking at the regular season over the final, I guess 37 games, 38 games, whatever it was, they had a net rating better than any team in the history of basketball and ran roughshod over the league. Now, that team contained Robert Williams for much of that stretch. He is not going to be there for at least a few months. The team was coached by Ime Udoka, who's not going to be there at all this season. And that team did not have Danilo Gallinari, but Danilo Gallinari was expected, I think, at some point to play a somewhat critical role on this team, and he's not there. Now, they did just sign Blake Griffin. We'll see if that matters. I don't know. They're really good. They're really deep. They're not as good or as deep as we thought they were going to be. How much do you trust their, what is, I think at this point, a pretty well-oiled system of like, we're going to throw all sorts of length at you on defense, and they could play defense in a lot of ways. They don't have that rim protector, but again, I'm not with the defensive talent they have, where again, they're going to throw 5 guys out there who are capable of getting at least all defense team votes. And then you got your 2 big wings who can score the ball in a lot of ways. And they've added Brogdon. We should probably mention that. I don't know. This is a tough one.
This is a very tough one. I think I look at the Celtics, and it's the tough part with these over-unders that I didn't do this enough with the West over-unders. There's clearly teams that are poised to make a move, and the Celtics did last year with even if it was just Derek White and getting rid of Schroeder. Like, there are ancillary moves that just will improve the team. I think they may make a move.
They can make a move because they traded away the 23 pick to get Brogdon, and that's, I think, I forget what the protections are not such that it hamstrings their ability to trade away other picks. And then after that, they've traded away 28 first rounder to San Antonio, but they could still put a package together if there's something worth getting. The bigger question I have is, like, for them to materially improve their team such that they would be willing to put draft assets on the table. Like, there aren't a whole lot of players out there who fit in that category. It's like, is Bradley Beal coming on the market for them? And, but that's it.
Honestly, I'm not even talking about the big moves like that.
Oh, you think they can make another small move?
Right. So I'm at the point where I look at the fact that Robert Williams is going to be out for a while. And it's like, well, all right, well, could they just make a side with an Ayton destination if Horford is starting to show his age? Like,
yeah, but then what do you do with Robert Williams? Because that's why the Ayton, we should probably have that conversation at some point on this pod. But like, the Ayton trade conversation is an interesting one, because if a team has a center that they like, which the Celtics do, he's just hurt right now. It's like, are you giving up that player plus stuff to get Ayton, who's, not that he's a tricky fit, but it's like you're probably going to be adjusting a little bit of what you do in terms of how you utilize the center position. And then, and then from Phoenix's perspective, it's like you're not just going to give him away. I don't see them as an 8 team.
I'm more saying if Robert Williams is like because this is now like a third season in a row that Williams' injury history. I'm literally just saying there is a world where if his injury is more serious and they need to go get a center, it's like, hey, let's pull the plug on the Robert Williams experiment and go get DeAndre Ayton instead, because he is an upgrade during this window. Like windows is like a big theme about the NBA this year, because you just see a couple of windows close. Yeah. I think all this to say about the Celtics, you're right about that net rating since the RJ game is throwing me off. Is if that team still exists, which it's almost entirely still intact outside of Robert Williams.
And again, Williams missed some time at the end of last season.
So I'm hesitant to say 53. 53 should be very attainable for this core.
It should be.
If the infrastructure is still in place, which it...
Well, 54, because it's 53 and a half is the number.
So
50. So
54.
So we're talking 54 and 28. That's what we're looking at here.
I'm saying that should be attainable. Now, it depends how much you value what Ime Udoka was able to bring, what Will Hardy, their assistant, who's now the Jazz coach, was able to bring. I guess my thought is if they're close to what they were last year, but clearly a step below, they'll make a move and get back to that, and that puts them over the top.
I'm gonna go over.
Okay,
I don't feel great about it. I wouldn't touch this, but I'll go over. I think they warranted a long conversation. This next team, I don't think warrants a long conversation at all. Milwaukee Bucks, 52 and a half.
Oh,
over, all the way over. Call it a gut feeling. I think this is going to be the season we look back at as Giannis's best. I don't know why I have that funny feeling.
I also have the over for the Bucks. They are currently my 1 seed for this upcoming season. Mine. I think this will be their second 60-win season.
Yes, I'm with you.
Some of that also has to do with the fact that if you look at, because when we did the West, we got all the way down to the OKC Jazz. Although, now that I'm thinking about it, so that there's 3 tanking teams at the bottom of the West, right? There's
4. Well, yeah, there's 4.
Who's fourth?
Hold on, did I forget someone? Or did I add someone? There's Houston, there's OKC, there's San Antonio, and Utah.
Okay, you added Houston. I think so.
Listen,
when I say tanking,
Houston has the lowest over-under in the league.
Fine.
Tanking.
I think Houston will try to win games, is my point. Like, I think Jalen Green and Jabari Smith they will try to, with that core, try to win. They will not, oh, wow, Chet, your foot injury, it's so bad it's out for the year. Oh, SGA, don't worry, take a couple of months off.
That's not okay. So they have more young talent, but again, they're going to trot out Jabari Smith for however many minutes they're going to trot out Jabari Smith. Whereas Jabari Smith, I'm not sure Jabari Smith would get a whole lot of playing time on a team that's trying to win games. That is what I mean when I say they're tanking. What's your point?
My point is, I think the East's bottom will end up being easier for the Bucks to rack up more wins.
I'm going to push back on this. I completely disagree, because to me, you have a Detroit team that just went out. You can say whatever the hell you want about Houston.
That's true. They got bogey.
Yeah. Houston to go out and acquire a win now piece, which is unequivocally what Bogdan Bogdanovic is, or Bojan Bogdanovic. I always screw that up. Can they flip him at the deadline if they're like 15 games under 500? Sure. But they're coming out of the gate trying to win. Indiana still has Miles Turner, still has Buddy Hield. Like Rick Carlisle, he's not the sort that's just going to go out there and they're going to try. And then Orlando, people just they have a lot of talent. It's not, but Paolo Banchero is a lot more, I think, ready to contribute right away, which is, by the way, part of why they drafted him.
So here's the full measured take. The division is what I mean because it was a half measured take when I thought of it yesterday.
Okay.
The full measured take is that the Central Division, the Bucks have the Bulls, the Pacers, and the Pistons, who I do not think are going to make the playoffs this year. So
all right, that's fine.
I am having 12 games against those teams are the edge you need to be the 1 seed and then potentially even get to 60 wins.